Alright guys, how's it going this afternoon? Well, it's about, I don't know, probably close to 6 o'clock. Yeah, so, what's going on today? Well, just couple things I want to talk about, and one was good, and it was actually kind of interesting, I guess. And then I got some weather reports for you too. But so the young guy called me earlier today. He's had my bull that obviously I've been waiting to get rid of. He took him in, I guess, a couple days ago or whatever, and he was going to call, and he actually called me this morning, and he said that you can actually watch the auction live, so you can actually watch your cow being sold at an auction place. Of course, that goes for all kinds of cows, obviously, not just steers. You got heifers, and you got calves, and bulls, and stuff like that. So, but unfortunately, it paid off. This actually kind of paid off good for me, because I think the live auction started at 11:30 in the morning. And of course, you don't know when they're going to get to your cow, so you kind of have to literally watch the whole stinking thing. So that's what I kind of did. But then it was, time travels, obviously, time moves on. So I look at the clock, and I was like, oh shit, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon already. I've been watching this goddamn thing since 11:30 in the morning. And I was like, well, I gotta get some things done. I can't sit here and watch a freaking auction all day. So, yeah, I wanted to go get some gas, because I didn't get any gas yesterday because it was super windy. It was like hurricane force winds and just freezing cold. It's still cold today, but every day is supposed to start kind of going up again. And I think by next weekend they're talking 50s. But we'll see. I don't think that's going to be a permanent thing. That'll probably just be for the weekend and then back to cold again. This goddamn temperature swing bullshit's got to stop. It either needs to stay warm out or needs to get freaking cold and just stay cold then. But yeah, so it's like, well, I can't sit here and watch this thing forever. I gotta move on. I gotta go at least get some gas, and my uncle came over too, just before I left. But we're trying to freaking figure out why I keep tripping that one breaker in my house all the time. It's for the kitchen, for those 2 outlets that would be on the south side of my kitchen. Obviously, I got my microwave and my toaster oven on that breaker. That's all that's on that one breaker anyway. So, been trying to figure that out. We already did. We thought it was the outlet. We replaced it. Not the problem. We thought maybe it was the breaker. Now we're not really thinking that's the problem. We think it's the microwave that's causing the problem. So, you kind of have to, I guess, break down and get another stinking microwave again. But whatever. So, but my uncle's got a tool that he used, and he could test how much, I guess, voltage or watts or whatever that the machine's pulling. And this one's actually pulling more than is actually, it's pulling more than what it normally should. So there's obviously somewhere in the microwave is probably defective, and it's just wore out, right? So I don't know, possibly a new microwave coming, but just gotta wait and see, I guess. But yeah, so anytime between when me and my uncle were bullshitting, and me and going and getting gas, my bull sold live on that auction. So, but how did I know how much that my bull kind of went for, and you know, whatever, okay, whatever. So, well, I have a screen recorder on my computer that lets you record your screen on your you know, or your monitor or whatever on your computer. You can get them on your cell phones too, but a lot of them you have to actually pay for, which I think is stupid, because the one on my computer I got basically for free because I bought that Power Director editing software for editing videos and stuff. So when you buy their stuff, you get other stuff for free. You get the screen recorder for one thing, which has actually been a huge plus for me. I mean, not only, you don't have to, it's just not strictly for recording your screen. You can hook up like a webcam of your own to it and record through that way. It's a recorder. So I decided to just set that up and have it record the auction for me while I was away. So it looks like not long after I left my computer, my bull went up for auction or whatever. To me, it's an auction because they're technically bidding on it. So I'm not sure who's bidding on it, but they're bidding on it. So it doesn't say who, but I mean, it could be a number of things, really. It could just be somebody that maybe wants them as a big giant pet, but I don't know who's going to pay that much money and have a bull that can't do anything, you know, because he's fixed. So technically he'd be a steer. So, but I still call him a bull because that's what he was. So, but who's going to want him as a big giant pet? I don't know. Because that would be a hell of an expensive thing to do. So, but most likely he's probably going to go to a meat plant or something and get turned into meat. So, but yeah. So it was actually, I mean, he wasn't on screen for very long. I don't know. It seems like when you have just a single cow, well, then he's only there for maybe 30 seconds or so, and then they push him off. Regardless if somebody's still bidding, you know, trying to outbid you or whatever on it. Like, the bidding's still going on, but your cow's not on the auction or on the show floor, you know. So, but I got it on camera, and I will share it with you guys. I am going to have to edit it a little bit because they, yeah. So, because they actually say on there, you know, whose cow this is and where it come from. So all that has to get bleeped out. So
go to 302, 302. Hey guys, good Charolais steer. This will be Ryan. Right here, good Charolais steer. He's weaned, fellas. He's weaned, but he is natural. Weaned and natural, but he is one good son of a gun. 600-pound steer right here now, right here. Here we go, here now. What do you need? 220, 225. Yeah, 220, 220, mile the 220, 220, mile the 220, 225, and 225, 30. Yeah, 220, mile the 230, 230, 230. Nobody looking here, boys. 230, 220, mile the 30, 35, 235, 40, 240, 240, 245. Yeah, 50, 250, 250, 240, mile the 250, 250. Get Madonna 240, mile the 250. Anybody else at 250? Last call, 250, 250. Now 5, 255, 255, 60, 260, 260, 265, 265, 70, 275, 270, 270, the hitting, 280, 285, 285, 85, 85, 90, 290, 95, 295, all in done at 290, 95. Sold them 290, 421, 421.
But yeah. So that was kind of an interesting. It sucks that I didn't get to see it actually happen live, but at least I was, you know, I actually put the screen recorder on. So, so he's actually, he is a heavy sumbitch. He's actually a lot. The young guy did have him I guess for a good week there or so, and the young guy said that he was trying to fatten him up a little bit with just grain. He wasn't like trying to use like steroids or chemicals to fatten him up. It was all done just for strictly grain, which will put, if you fatten him up with that for a week or so, he'll gain a few pounds. So, which is a good thing. I mean, the heavier he is, the more money I'll make, right? But, so the young guy didn't know for sure. He figured at least 400 or 500 pounds, or at least 500 plus. But the young guy wasn't sure. Well, of course, he's not sure because there's no scale in his trailer. We don't have a scale either, so we can't weigh these sons of bitches ourselves. It's another thing we need to invest in, too, is a scale. So, he weighed 600 pounds. And I wrote all the stuff down. He weighed 600 pounds, and this is where it kind of got confusing because I'm not sure on how, because I don't really deal with these auction things. I more or less just let the young guy deal with it, and whatever I get is whatever I get. I don't really, I want a fair price obviously for my cows, but I'm not going to obviously fatten them up with chemicals or whatever, My bull, I guess, is technically, how did he say it? Natural. It's not stuffed with chemicals. It lived off of grass and mostly just grass. At least on our ranch, that's all I ever really got was grain, or not grain, but grass and hay bales. The only time it got a little bit of grain from us is when we were trying to convince him to go into the barn, and then when the young guy had him. So, now this is where it gets kind of tricky because they actually can weigh, because apparently it depends on the market and what these cattle are actually going for. But, they usually will give you $1 price per pound. And apparently, like, if it was, however the young guy, said it to me. I'm trying to explain it in a dumb way because he says it different than how I would say it. But on a normal price, it would be $2.90 a pound. But since they did it differently, I guess based on because he was heavier than normal, it was like $2.90 per like 100 pounds or something stupid like that. Like, it was a little bit heavier, something like that, I guess. I don't even know. So basically he went for $2.90 per pound or $2.90 per 100, whatever. I don't know. But so we basically did the math, and he did the math as well. We came up with $1,740, and then the young guy came up with a little bit over $1,800. So which one is actually true, I don't really know. I don't know the true price because I don't have the check in my hand. But this is just, a rough number. But that's a lot of money. That was way more than what I was thinking. I figured, okay, 1,000 probably. That's the most expensive bull I've ever sold, Not that I sold it, but you know what I'm saying. It's the biggest bull, the most expensive bull I've ever had. So he brought me a pretty penny, which is surprising. But I also kind of think too, obviously, depending on how these cattle look, if they look healthy and yeah, they just look healthy, and they're natural. I think people are willing to pay a little bit more money for them if they're natural and they're good looking. And my bull, I guess, just happened to be good looking, and he's natural because we did not stuff him with chemicals or any type of fattening stuff to make him heavier. He is naturally 600 pounds. I mean, now what the young guy gave him over the last week and a half or however long he was there, because he was on grain over there, he ain't going to put on a lot of weight being over there. And you know what? I still think even if you're feeding them grain, that's still technically a natural fat gain. So that's all natural weight there. That's not something that we shoved down his throat to make him heavier. So he was a big boy. You know, he didn't look that damn big when he left, but what's surprising is that when he was on camera, he looked a lot bigger. So I guess in the last weekend or so, he obviously must have grew quite a bit. I don't know if grain would do that or not. I don't know. He looked a little bit bigger on camera, but their camera, I swear they need to update their camera, because I don't know what it is, but their camera, it just screams 1980s technology. It's like, this is 2024, get with the program. So I don't know what they're doing with their cameras, but their camera looked like it was from the 1980s, but whatever, still got the job done, I guess. That's what matters. But he was a big bull, that's for sure. So he's bringing me more money than even what I was thinking. I figured 1,200, but yeah. So that's actually quite a bit. God, I wish I had 2 bulls, because you know what, this sounds like this year would have been a good year to get rid of bulls, but fortunately I only had the 1. So I don't know. Like I said, something's going to have to change. I got to get more cattle. Just 1 cow a year or every other year. I don't know how good this one's going to be. This is technically her first calf. Supposedly it's her first calf ever. But I don't know. I think she's had 1 or 2 in the past, but this is her first one on this ranch. So, and she obviously gave me a bull. So, but yeah, so it was kind of an interesting thing, I guess. I mean, I didn't catch it live, but thank God I had my screen recorder going so it could record it for me. So I was able to do that, and yeah. So yeah, there would have been enough money right there, to buy actually pretty much, yeah, I could buy a brand new tire for the 1586. Unfortunately, I got to dip into that to pay off some bills. Let's see, yeah, I got a couple of bills I want to pay off. I got to order a new microwave. Mother would like a new vacuum cleaner because the one that we have is broken, so we kind of need a new one of those. It still works, but the lock thing doesn't lock anymore, so it won't stand up on its own. So, yeah. And I kind of would like to get the CB antenna for the Tahoe. I won't be able to get the CB radio right away, but at least if I could get the antenna here, it'd be better than nothing. At least it'd be 1 step closer. The only problem is that I have to kind of watch what I spend, because the more I spend, well, then obviously it's going to be all the harder to save that money back up again. So I kind of really have to watch myself, because I kind of like to be able to get a couple things done, and then you know, save up all over again to get the tractor tire. I probably won't be here until fall, but unfortunately the tractor sprung a hydraulic leak anyway, and I don't have the book that deals with that rear end, because it's a rear end problem. So talked to the young guy. He says he's got a book, but he says that it doesn't give you part numbers, it just kind of gives you a breakdown of it. So, but unfortunately they're not in his shop, they're in one of his trailers. He had to take it out of his shop because he had a shop fire a few years ago, and he just never ever moved them back yet. So I was gonna order a shop book on that thing, but they're like $70. I still might do it just so I have one of my own, but the young guy says I could borrow his for I guess, for a couple hours or whatever. Maybe just take some pictures of what I think I need and then whatever, right? Because even if I could just take pictures of it, it's better than nothing. So, but yeah, so like I said, obviously the prices that I gave you, that's only a rough number, but that sounds pretty much about right. That's what I'm going to get, somewhere around in that ballpark. So that's actually not too bad, and that's all in U.S. money. I don't know what that would be for you Canadian guys, but that's probably the most amount of money I've ever made in what, the 15 years that I've been doing this. I mean, I've been doing this kind of since I was a teenager, but when I was a teenager, I spent a lot of time in the hospital, so I never really got a chance to work with cattle. Not like today, obviously, where I can work with them all the time, but being a teenager, it wasn't really doable. If I wasn't in the hospitals, then I was either sick, or since I was on a lot of medication, that pulled me down, and it just, I didn't even want her to get out of bed. So, but times have changed. Take different kind of medication now, so that's giving me more life now. So at least I can get out of bed now and do what I got to do. So, but yeah, so that's what it is, I guess. So not too bad. Can't complain too much, I guess. Well, I'm not complaining at all, because I think that's, actually pretty damn good. So that's actually a lot higher than what I was thinking. Kind of makes me wonder, if that bull didn't weigh 100 pounds more, I wonder what I would have gotten for him then. Probably 1,900 or 2,000, I bet. I don't know. But yeah, that's actually, in my book, that's actually pretty good. That's the most amount of money I've ever made out of a calf. Not that I've sold many calves over the years, because I've had a lot of horrible luck over the years. So, but I still think probably won't be next year. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping maybe next year, but it might be the following year. I don't know. It depends on what else keeps breaking it down, right? Maybe try to save up some money and maybe try to get another heifer. So, yeah, I don't know. Just, it would be nice to have 2 cows. I had 2 cows for a couple of years, but then that one got pregnant too young, and it messed up her inside, so she was never gonna. She was still able to get pregnant, but she was never able to calf on her own. And the calf was backwards and cockeyed and all that stuff, so that was no good. And then the mother, my first cow there, she had the last calf that she had was those twins, and she pushed them out too early. Those calves weren't even done. They could have stayed in there easily probably for another month. So I don't know what happened there, but she just decided, nope, I want nothing to do with this. So probably because she realized she was having twins and it freaked her out. I don't know, but that messed her up somehow inside there. So she just never got pregnant after that. So we had to ship her off. My first cow is actually what helped pay for the red cow that I got now. So basically just did a swap, but with money obviously involved too, but basically just a swap. So just traded her out for the red one. So, but she's been a good cow though. I haven't had any issues with her since we bought her, and she calved on her own with no problems. So she ain't that old. I think she was only like three or something at the time when she was first brought here. So, so not too bad, but she's pretty young. I don't know how many calves she's had previous to that, but they said that she's never had a calf, but I don't know. And she was pregnant when I got her. So, and she was pregnant to calf in like June or July, or maybe even in August. But I think she calved in July sometime. I know there's some videos on it, I think, but yeah. So, but she was calved to my liking, or she was pregnant to my liking, because she was going to calf when I wanted her to. To find another cow like that, it might be a little impossible, but you just got to get whatever there was. So, but yeah, like I said, I was still watching the auction there when I was watching it. There, you know, an earlier bit there. There was a guy that, or family anyway, I don't know how many freaking cattle they have, but they got rid of 72. I think there was some steers mixed in with it, but I think for the most part they're all heifers, but they're young. 72.
I do if you get one. Yeah, thanks. But I owe you for quite a few. I do actually. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, look at them cattle, boys. Wow. Open haired, green and clean, boys. Green and clean and open haired. You just don't get them no better than that, boys. They got a shot program right here. I'll knock it out for you, fellas. At birth, they had the Enforce 3. At turnout, they had the Ultra Choice 7. At pre-wean on November 20th, they had the Bovishield Gold 1 shot. The Ultra Back 7 with somnus, and the steers had tetanus. Came back at weaning December 30th. Bovishield Gold, Ultra Back 7. Cattle were banded on November 20th. The cattle were weaned on December 30th. Never had an implant. Cattle are all home raised. The Waldo family did all the work, boys. My, oh my, oh my.
And then they were letting in, you know, like big volumes of them at one time. So like they were filling up the whole goddamn, you know, the room that you'd put them in to showcase them, you know, when the people are looking at them, when they're sitting on the grandstands or whatever, right? They were literally filling up the whole entire space. And they did that like 3 times in a row. That's a lot of cows to get rid of. So I don't know how big their freaking ranch is, but it's got to be pretty goddamn big if you're getting rid of that many. That's a lot of freaking calves or cows to get rid of. But they were actually some damn nice looking calves too. Like they were healthy. They were clean. They were natural as well too. But yeah, they were some damn nice looking calves. I wouldn't have mind gotten a couple of those myself, but what are you gonna do? So I don't think you can sell them on like one at a time. I think like, or you couldn't buy just one on its own. I think you had to buy the whole collection. So yeah, I don't know who's gonna buy 72 calves, but I guess you could do it and then just split them up into different groups, you know, and then sell them again to other farmers or whatever, you know. So, but yeah, that's impressive. So, but yeah, and there were some actually some nice looking bulls too that they were selling, you know, breeding bulls. There was a few of them that were pretty good looking too. And there was a couple of them that actually had horns on them, but I think they were a different breed. Probably wouldn't want to mess with them too much. Tell you what. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on there. My bull, he finally sold, and yeah, sounds like I'll probably get at least a little over 1,700 or maybe even 1,800. I won't know the exact amount until the check gets here, but that's you know, yeah. So roughly around there is what I'm going to get for it. So sounds pretty good. So so what's going on now? Well, we are supposedly supposed to be getting another snowstorm here in the next, I think it's supposed to start tomorrow or even maybe tonight. I don't know. I can't remember now, but they might change it. But as of right now, they're saying that we could see all the way up to 4 inches. 2 to 4 inches of freaking snow. Ugh. Get this crap out of here. I mean, it's all frozen. I mean, it's not melting, obviously. It kind of was there, but I don't know. But every day is supposed to slightly start warming up. And then I think by next weekend we're supposed to see highs of like 50s. That's all in Fahrenheit. So I don't know if that'll happen or not. That would be super nice, because then this snow would melt, and then all that fresh bullshit, you know, wouldn't also melt. I did get out into the field last Saturday I got out. I had to go in by the bridge though. I couldn't get in through our main ramp because it was still buried with a lot of snow there. It was melting. Like if it would have gotten, you know, even another week of even just 40s, it would have melted enough to get the Blazer through it, but couldn't do it. So I actually drove down to the north end by the bridge, and that was all perfectly just wide open, so I was able to get down into there. So I drove around a little bit, looked at some stuff. That buck is still laying out there. We're going to have to pick him up. One of his legs is halfway down the field, so I got to go pick that up before the grass starts to grow. But right now, or when I was down there, I tried to pick it up, but it was froze to the ground, so I just left it. So I'll just, when we get that warm stretch, I'll go back out there and see if he'll come out, or if I can pick it up, and then we'll just throw it back on top of him. Because we won't be getting down there anytime soon to get rid of that buck until we get some fairly nice weather. So, but yeah, but I don't think we'll get too much for a flood though, unfortunately. So might get quite a bit of rain though in spring. Who knows? Only time will tell. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on. So now it'll probably be a couple of days or so before we'll get a check, and then probably another day or so because the bank will have to clear it or whatever, you know, and then from there we can decide on what we're going to do. Right now we're thinking of, well, we know right off the top of our gate I'm going to pay off a couple of bills, and then, of course, they're very small bills. And then we're going to get a new microwave. And then I got to get oil for the Tahoe. The Tahoe is going to be due for an oil change. Probably another month, but I don't know. So it's down to like 30-something% oil life. So it'll just have, you know, just have to run it for as long as we can. But I want to get that. And then I also got to get 3 more tubes of grease. I know the grease guns, the grease guns, they still have some grease left in them, but how much I don't know. And I still have one sitting on the shelf, but I like to stay stocked up on grease. So get at least 3 more tubes, and then that'll take care of that. So, but yeah. So I don't know. But I just want to tell you guys that, give you guys an update to what's going on, and yeah. So I guess I'll head in and time to warm back up again. It's cold out here, so I don't want to be here any longer than I have to be. But I just figured I'd tell you guys that little bit so you guys could not sit there and wonder anymore. So, but yeah. So, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.